All right, folks. This is your boy Matt. Post game interview. I know there's a lot of you out there that gave me a lot of trouble with regards to the attire that I took a photograph in a few days ago when I was, decked out in my Giants gear, which, as you can see, I still rock hard for my team even when we lose. Now, just wanted to address a couple of points here, and I know you guys are probably going to let me have it after this video, but nonetheless, here it goes. First of all, that was an incredible game, and no one can ever question the heart of the New York Football Giants. The New York Football Giants were down by what would be, by some accounts, an insurmountable lead in the fourth quarter when we were down 35-7. But I knew that the game was not over. I've seen these New York Football Giants. I know what we can do. I know what we do when the odds are against us, when the deck is stacked against us. We dig down deep. We dig in our heels. Yes, we lost. We lost today. But, I'm proud of the way that we played. I could have done without all of the antics between Josh Norman and Odell Beckham. I think both of them should be fined. Odell honestly should probably get a 1-game suspension for that hit. That there's no place for that in football. I don't care how angry you get. Keep your emotions in check. He could have hurt Josh Norman with that blindside hit, and I'm not good with that. Never let your emotions get the best of you. Now, of course, some of you watching this will say, well, Matt, you've broken a couple of tennis rackets. But that was a tennis racket. Tennis rackets, I can't physically hurt a tennis racket. But nonetheless, I digress. Let me get back to the game. Listen, 38-35, that game is what you hope to see whenever you're watching a Super Bowl. That was a heck of a game. Fox could have charged pay-per-view for that. That was a great football game. I'd like a rematch this season. It's probably not going to happen. There is a scenario where it could happen, but the Giants would have to win out, and we would need the Redskins to lose 2 games. We'd have to win out, and the Redskins would have to lose out for us to make the playoffs. So, anyway, getting back to the game, it was a good game. What you saw here, listen, folks, I know some of you fanboys and fangirls out there are going to make your comments. Ooh, the Panthers are the best. Ooh, keep pounding. Ooh, and all this dabbing and all this stuff. Yeah, and I get that. But look, let's just talk about football and being a true sports analyst. What you saw there was why the Panthers are 14-0 and why the New York Giants are 6-8. The Giants do not execute when we need to. We do not execute. The pick six that was dropped by Antonio Rogers Cromartie, that should have been a pick six. Had he just simply looked the football into his hand and secured it and then worried about what was up the field. He had one guy to beat. I mean, catch the football first, man. Good gosh. But what he did was he took his eyes off the ball just long enough to where it became a drop. You have to execute. The Carolina Panthers execute, one. Number two, they have arguably the coach of the year in Ron Rivera. He believes in his players, and when a coach believes in his players, the players give you something back. So for all of you out there who are listening who coach, or maybe it's not coaching a sports team, maybe it's a relationship you're in, I don't know. Believe in the other person, okay? Believe in the team. If you're a boss, believe in your players. Believe in the people that that work for you, your direct reports or whatever. And they'll give you something back. The Carolina Panthers give back to Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera injects passion into them. He expects them to execute. That's why Riverboat Ron goes for it and has a high percentage of 4th down conversions. Because by going for it, he tells the players, I wouldn't even go for this if I didn't think you guys could do it. And you know what? They execute. The Giants, that's where they fail a little bit. And I think some of that comes from I'm not going to knock Coach Coughlin. He's done a good job this year. I think he's made some questionable calls that have us sitting at 6-8 right now. When I can tell you at least three games where play calling kind of cost us that we should have won. One of them, 3 games, well, 4 even. If you count the Patriots game, it's 4. I mean, we could just as easily be sitting here instead of 6-8. We could be sitting here at 10-4. But anyway, you know what? That's water under the bridge now. The Carolina Panthers, getting back to them, they have three things. One, they execute. Two, they have arguably the coach of the year, great coach in Ron Rivera. He's the best coach in the NFL right now, if you ask my opinion. And last, but certainly not least, I wanted to save him for last. Cam Newton is hands down the best football player in the NFL right now. He is. Cam Newton is the best football player. I'm not talking about quarterback, running back, wide. He's the best football player in the NFL right now. And when you got that combination, that's tough to beat. You know, for the Giants to have had a chance to win this game, they would have anybody. Well, here's the script for the Panthers. You got to have a front four that's so good that they can get pressure on Newton by himself. Because then, if you have to blitz, it'll make your blitz that much more effective. But right now, I haven't seen a front four that gets pressure on Cam Newton, and you credit that to the offensive line. So if you can't pressure him, then you know what? He's got all day to sit in the pocket and look downfield to find a target. Or he can just, nobody's open. I think I want to run today. I want to go on a nice jog and run 40 yards or whatever. Okay? If you blitz him, then you're gambling with leaving somebody open down the field. And the difference in Cam today versus Cam up until this season, and Cam even at Auburn, is Cam had a problem throwing the ball high. I watched him at Auburn. Yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He won a national championship with the Auburn Tigers. But Cam had a problem throwing the football high, and he has apparently worked hard on that this offseason. And now he's getting the ball. He's hitting his targets. And this is why I love Steve Smith. I wish Steve Smith had stayed a Panther. I hope they do the right thing and retire his jersey. But he needed a Steve Smith up until this season because Steve Smith would go up and make some spectacular grabs because Cam wasn't very accurate. Now, Cam is taking mediocre receivers and making them look good. I won't say great because Ted Ginn is not a Steve Smith. There were at least two plays where Ted Ginn checked out of it, or actually just Ted Ginn couldn't haul it in, where Steve Smith would have hauled those in. Steve Smith didn't care. He doesn't care about a single coverage. He doesn't care about double coverage. You put the ball near him, he's gonna haul it in. That's what makes him a spectacular receiver. But we don't want to talk about that. Let's just focus on the game today. Cam Newton is like Tom Brady. He makes average receivers and turns them into winners. So that's the difference this year. And listen, I tip my hat to the Carolina Panthers. I hope they go 19-0 now. I do. I felt like the Giants were probably going to be the toughest game they had to play this year. And some people talk about the Saints. I was never worried about the Saints. The Giants were the team to do it, and we failed to execute. When you're playing a football team that's as good as the Carolina Panthers, you must capitalize on their mistakes. And the Giants failed to capitalize on their mistakes. And when the Giants made mistakes, the Panthers execute. So they capitalized. So you listen. Now I'm going to wrap this up. Any of you Facebook friends, whatever, Carolina Panthers fans, you can go ahead and give it to me. Listen, I'm a football analyst first, okay? I'm a fan second and analyst first. I'm going to break the game down and be fair about it. The Giants had their opportunities, but they do not execute. And you can ask any football coach, any coach. I don't care if it's basketball. I don't care if it's tennis. I don't care what the sport is, boxing, whatever. You ask any sports coach on any sport at any level what makes winners, and they will all say one thing: execution, okay? And the Panthers execute. They do. So I wish them the best. It would be a shame to see Coach Rivera. I know he's been getting a lot of questions about, hey, what are you going to do once you guys are locked for home field throughout? And, the thing is, he's got some things he needs to address. Should he try to win out and go 16-0? Should he? Personally, I think when your team's hot, you don't want to cool them down by checking out to try to save your team for the playoffs or whatever. Sometimes the Panthers are going to get a first round bye. I say let them play right through week 17. Let them play. If you're up in the game, you go up 3 scores, then you want to bring in Derek Anderson. Yeah, that's fine. But let this unit keep playing. They're hot right now. You don't you cool them off. If they're going to be cooled off, let it be another team. Don't you cool them off. Okay, so I hope Coach Rivera gives these guys what they've earned and give them the opportunity to have an unbeaten regular season, which would hopefully lead to them making a Super Bowl appearance and one up in the Patriots, who are down by the Giants. We won't talk about that. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. We're coming up on 10 minutes, so you guys go ahead and let me have it. I'm expecting to see more fanboyism. So let your fanboyism come out, fangirlism, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I'm going to give it to you straight analytics. And analytically speaking, the Carolina Panthers are a much better football team than the Giants. The Giants had their opportunities today, could have won the game, but they failed to execute. And again, you heard it from me. Cam Newton is he's the NFL MVP. If you ask me, he's the best player in the league this year. And Ron Rivera is the coach of the year. Some good things going on in Carolina. And you know what? I wish him the best. Matty out.